Hey guys, Snowman back with you again, back out in the garage, and a quick project that I've been meaning to work on for a while is I have this soapstone mortar and pestle set that I use to grind my own incense, because the stuff you can pre-buy in the store, well, some of it is great, some of it just sucks, and I'd rather make my own. So, unfortunately, soapstone is soft, and the handle of the motor broke off, and me and my finite wisdom, I forgot to get the camera rolling when I got to this point. So I have half of it already mounted to a 1/2-inch poplar dowel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this branch, which I got off a dead branch of the tree in my front yard, and I'm going to make a natural wood handle out of it. Now I'm probably going to strip off the bark, because that's going to irritate the heck out of my hand, because it has some moss growing on it in spots, and I just don't want to set myself up for having to go to the doctor because I have some kind of weird rash. So all that aside, I need to cut this piece down to the size that will fit between these two pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this this ball as the top of the handle, and since I have large hands, it's going to give me something to hold on to. Now it's going to be more like that once I get the natural wood handle on it, but some of the things that you have to grind up for making your own natural incense are pretty hard. Like some woods and some star anises just don't like to grind. So short of using a food processor, and I'd kind of like to keep modern technology off of it, and I don't think I'm going to buy a food processor to grind wood, because then I might as well buy a wood chipper. So anyways, all that craziness aside, let me get to getting on this branch, and I'll be right back. Alright, so what I need to do at this point is figure out how big a piece I need and go from there. I want to make the piece a little bit longer than I need, so that I can sand it down to shape instead of just going, yeah, this will fit. That never works. So we bust out the handy dandy tape measure and see how much space we're dealing with. Alright, looks like a little under 2 3/4 inches if I seat the ball fully. So I'm going to cut it at 2 7/8, maybe 3 inches, so I have some wood to sand down to get the right shape. Because the big thing that's going to be the hardest part is finding a section of this thing that's straight enough that I can drill a 1/2-inch hole through the center and get it over the dowel that's already there. So, alright then. Be right back. Okay, now that I have the piece to size, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking what I might do is just wire brush off the little bit of dried moss that I saw on it, and then just clear coat it so that my skin doesn't come in contact with the moss. So, but alright, so I have our handle. Now the trick is going to be getting a straight enough hole through this thing, because it does have a bend to it, but that bend fits right into the palm of my hand perfectly, and the ball will be on the top and the mortar will be on the bottom here. Now this wood has a very interesting wood in the middle of it, and I would love to bring all that color out, but I want to keep the look of the bark because it just has such a great look to it. Now, what I may end up doing, since the end of this piece of branch is bigger than the mortar end, I may end up tapering one end of this so the wood comes down to the stone itself, but I'm not sure about that yet. My first challenge is going to be drilling the hole, so we'll start with that. Okay, now I'm probably going to have to eyeball where center is, because with a piece of wood with this irregular shape, it's not like a dowel. You can't measure it. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to get as close as I can and go from there. Now, the problem I may run into is I don't think I'm going to get all the way through this piece of wood in the first go. So what I'm probably going to have to do is drill as deep as the bit will go and then just raise the table into the hole to drill it the rest of the way through. Luckily for my sake, this vise has a big enough space to fit a 1/2-inch drill once it gets through the branch. Now I had to shim the piece of wood in the vise because the way it was going to hold on to it, if I just closed the jaws, it would kick it so far off center that I wouldn't have gotten the hole where I wanted it. Now, you get to that point where it looks about right, and then you're second guessing yourself for the rest of the project. But we'll go with that. Start there, and if this doesn't work, there's more of that dead branch that I can cut off, and I can just try again. Okay. I was afraid of that. I didn't have it in nearly tight enough, so it's probably going to squeeze the branch and indent it a little bit. But you know what? I'd rather have a safe project. There we go. Let the drill bit cool down a little bit. Right on, right on. Okay, it worked exactly as I hoped it would. Unfortunately, with a natural piece of wood, your hole's not going to be on center all the way through. But that's fine, because that's how I wanted to grip the piece anyways. So we'll go from there and see what happens. Now, as I said before, I purposely cut the piece oversized so I had something to work with, but I didn't realize I went that far oversized. So I'm going to have to do some work on the bandsaw and then with the belt sander here to get this thing the right size and the right shape to make me happy. But we're getting there. Okay, so now what I need to do is take these cuts that are not all that straight and match them up to the flat surfaces that they're going to be writing on, so that I can just glue this piece on and have it be permanent. So, and it's going to involve some creative sanding, and yeah. To mark off with a pencil how much I need to take off, but I'll figure that as I go. Okay, so I have the ends of the branch mounted flush, or sanded flush rather, to the materials they're going to rest against, the stone and the wooden ball here. So now what I need to do is take a pencil, trace the pieces that they sit against so that I have a line of reference, so I can taper this cut off end of the branch down to the stone and the wood that they sit against. So as you can see how the wood hangs out a little bit here and right here. So I'm going to get to getting on that and be right back. Yes, trying to trace a line on wood while you're looking through a camera is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But hey, the things you do for your fans. Okay, gotten to this point. The rough tapers are done on the sanding belt here. And now I need to bust out my friend the Dremel because I done screwed up. I did not realize that this wooden ball was drilled off center from the factory that it came from, so now I have an overhang on the other direction. And so take out the Dremel, match those two angles up, and basically clean everything up, and yeah, next step is done. Okay, so I've decided which Norse runes I'm going to use for the handle of the mortar. Now I've masked off the stone part because I'm going to clear coat it after I burn the runes in, but I'm going to go with the self, which is I, will be on a journey of growth. So those are the 3 runes that I'm going to burn into the handle of this. Now, by that blonde oval you can see I sanded just a little bit too deep and got into the poplar dowel that's running through the center of the handle. But I made sure to stay... it's just not going to focus. It was very strange. I wish this... Oh yeah, this is something I forgot to show you guys. One of the many toys we make. This is my father's bobcat that he made. And these are some of the pull toy dogs that we're working on. And among other things. And we're not quite as slow as I thought we were. It's just my father's keeping all the projects for himself. Which is fine. If it keeps him busy, keeps him happy, I'm not going to complain. But parts everywhere. I have the wood burner fired up, and like I said, I'm going to get to getting on this guy. Now, I kept as much of the bark on as I could, because after I'm done putting the runes into this surface here, I'm going to clear coat the entire thing to make it more durable and seal it up. Okay, got the first coat of clear on. Nothing, slight shine to it. Everything's a little bit darker. Now I decided to go without that ball at the end of the handle because it was just too big. It was too oversized, and it's actually very comfortable sitting in the hand, the shape that it is. So I'm going to hit it for a second coat of clear and let that dry, and I'll show you guys the final results. Alrighty? Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this short video of the mortar handle repair. I'll have more projects coming in the future. No idea what they're going to be yet. Pretty much whatever my father comes up with, or I might come up with something myself. I don't know. But, alright guys, more to come.